Podcasting live at the time we recorded it. From the studios in downtown Gulfport, Florida, it's WGAB, the GabCast.
Welcome to WGAB, the GabCast, a Gabber newspaper production. I'm Cameron Healy, the assistant editor, and I'm with
Patrick Heinzen, the news and politics reporter. And we are here, as always, in the Wine House, right here on Beach Boulevard in downtown Gulfport.
Lovely. And today we're going to talk about Pride. Be who you are for your pride. Okay, so we're going to talk about businesses in Pinellas County that are LGBTQ owned, and are they all owned or are they some allies?
I think so. I don't want to say yes 100%.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but
For the most part, we know
they're all
for...
at least allies.
Anyways, and then onto that, we will have Cathy with a cup
I wasn't
by
ready.
myself.
I wasn't ready, but we will have Cathy with a cop again.
We will have Cathy with a cop. And then we'll end with some more Pride fun.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into businesses.
Yeah.
Get into the Pride business.
No, there's in the article this week, I only talked about one Gulfport business that's kind of pride focused, but not pride focused, but LGBTQ owned.
Yeah.
There are many.
It wasn't Stella's.
It wasn't Stella's. I mean, we talk about Stella's enough. Morgan is married to Barbara Stella's. We love Stella's. That's not the question here.
Yes.
But we kind of focused more on beyond Gulfport. So we talked about a clothing store, a bar, a restaurant, a small business, and an art gallery.
Yes.
So kind of different, all kinds of things that you can get. None of them are very some of them are, but none of them are very LGBTQ forward.
Yeah.
It's just owned and support LGBTQ owned businesses. So when it comes to clothing, I talked about Atlas Home and Decor, which is a hybrid home decor, but also not Atlas Home Decor, Atlas Body and Home, home decor and men's clothing store.
Yes.
And it's really cool because they have very high quality clothes, but it's not like dress shirts and stuff. It's high quality clothes that you could wear to the beach.
Oh, okay.
Like stylish,
Nice.
comfortable, high quality clothes.
But there are some that are nicer clothes,
Yeah.
or really is it just the lounge, half lounge, half...
No, it's kind of
Nice.
all the way through the spectrum of
Nice.
clothes, and they have a bunch of little small home decor stuff, some bigger, just home decor items. But it seemed like a cool place. It's a small business, and they're still working on kind of getting their website built.
Okay.
But they have a Facebook. They're on Instagram. Go and find them. They're on Central Avenue. So just head out there and check it out.
Atlas Body and Home.
Atlas Body and Home.
Nice.
And after you work up an appetite shopping, you can head up to Dunedin.
Yeah, Dunedin. Nice.
To
Dunedin.
get some really cool Polynesian food at the Hanu.
What's the Hanu?
It's a tiki-themed restaurant and bar.
Nice. Okay.
So they have kind of classic Polynesian food, tiki drinks that you can think of, kind of unique takes on them. And the menu, I've never been. The menu looks great.
Yeah.
All kinds of seafood. I saw they had the Big Kahuna Burger, which is a Pulp Fiction reference, and that was nice. And it looked really good, and it's a good place to kind of get food, get drinks. Hanu, actually, is the Hawaiian word for turtle. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Hanu.
Oh my
So
God.
on their website, they have a whole kind of story of
That relates to
this
that?
turtle. I believe the turtle, I don't remember, but it's there was a turtle that they named it after.
Wow.
But they just named it Hanu turtle.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a cute
Yeah,
little
it's really cool.
story. But yeah, that's nice. A little slice of paradise.
and after you get some dinner and a few drinks in you,
Phew.
that's where you go over to St. Pete to
Yes.
Cocktail. Now, Cocktail's slogan
Let's
is
go.
stiff drinks, hard liquor, raging good times. And
They knew what they were saying when they said that.
yeah, definitely. But we're gonna have someone on a little later to talk more about that and how
About their
fun it is.
experience.
But if you go onto their website and you see their calendar of events, there's not a wasted minute for all of June.
Absolutely. Why would they?
Every minute has something going on. They have karaoke. They have like a glow dance party.
Yeah, they have drag shows all the time.
Yeah.
I would say even if it's not June, they are
Yeah,
jam-packed
there's always
with
stuff happening.
events.
Yeah. It definitely seems like a lot of fun. I didn't even know it was a place, and now it's like this seems like the spot. It
Oh my
just
gosh,
seems so
have
fun.
you seen their mural? It's like on the side of the wall, on the side of the building is like two guys kissing. Have you not seen that?
I haven't.
Oh my god, it's so intimate. But it's huge and it's so sick. And then there's obviously a big rooster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's cocktail with the capital cock.
Capital cock. So what's next? So we go to St. Pete for cocktails and then
I think that's when we come back to Gulfport.
Because home.
There's two things that really speak Gulfport: pride and pets.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And if you just
that makes sense.
walk a couple, 2 blocks down from here on Beach Boulevard?
Maybe 3.
From where we are now.
2 to maybe 3.
Paw Paw's Pet Boutique down there. It's just your standard little pet store, not pet store like selling pets, but like pet supply store.
Yeah, they have all sorts of.
Yeah, you can get stuff for yourself and not even for the pet. They have like little paintings and stuff of pets. It's really cool.
Pet oriented, pet themed.
Yeah, and they're right down here in Gulfport. And not only are they just like a local business, and not only are they very active in the LGBTQ community, but they also donate to local shelters.
Ooh.
And they kind of are always at these. They were here at Get Rescued, all these events for dog adoption and animal adoption. They're very active in, and I've only been in there a couple times. I don't have a pet of my own.
Yeah.
But I walked by there the other day to get a photo, and it just worked out perfectly. There's a flowing rainbow flag right in front of the store. It was great. So yeah, definitely check out Paw Paws if you haven't already, which I'm be very surprised if anybody listening to this has not been to Paw Paws.
Exactly.
All 30 of you have a dog, so
30. Maybe it's like 12 people watching it like a couple more times.
Hey, we got 30 downloads on our first
Let's go.
5.
We love you, fans.
And then the other thing that's very Gulfport is art. And the art gallery that I wrote about is not in Gulfport, it's in St. Pete. But
what is it?
The Woodfield Fine Art Gallery in St. Pete.
I've never been there.
It was opened by a man named Jim Woodfield.
Okay.
And in 2015 he started kind of showcasing Tampa Bay artists who haven't really been getting recognition, or like on the website it talked about how it was focused on artists whose work wasn't considered collectible because it wasn't like a numbered piece, you know? It was just like somebody making a piece of art.
So he had a place for people who felt like they weren't able to be in other places.
Yeah, exactly. And it was taken over this May by Jorge Galvez. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Go Jorge.
And along with showcasing art and stuff, they also have a blog. They are very active online, and they show their kind of the art that's been going on their website. But the blog is very cool because it talks about kind of inclusivity issues in art and just the art space as a whole. The one that I saw when I most recently was on there was something about like, are sexes equally represented in art? And it just seemed like a really cool kind of discussion topic, and in a very kind of culturally inclusive space like art, it's definitely still something to talk about. Like,
art makes people speak.
Yeah, it does. But that is kind of the Pride focus for businesses and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're going to talk about Pride later.
Oh, I will. Pride is the word this month.
Pride
guys.
is the word this
and
month.
This podcast.
And always.
Stay prideful.
Stay prideful. And we're very proud to announce that coming up right now, Cathy with a cop.
Yeah. We'll be right back.
welcome back to WGAB, the GabCast. I'm Cathy. This is, as promised, a cop. Commander Josh Stone is here to talk with us this week. So, what, are you laughing at me already?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. So, I want to talk about hurricanes because
Hurricane season, yeah, it just
hurricane
started.
season is here. It's like tourist season, but with wind.
Yeah.
So, one of your officers told me this. I don't think they thought it was a great story. I thought it was hysterical about driving around town trying to get people evacuate, I think before Charlie. And there was a guy standing at the bar at O'Matty's going, I can't leave. I'm not done with my beer yet. That hangs together, right?
Sometimes those things happen, yes.
So there's some confusion. People like to kind of fearmonger online. Like, if you don't evacuate, the cops are going to arrest you. So let's just jump right in. If there is an evacuation and I don't evacuate, are you going to arrest me?
You could be arrested.
In what is the charge?
Anytime you violate an emergency order, let's say a hurricane is coming, in order for the counties to issue evacuation orders or other mandatory orders related to the emergency situation, the governor signs an emergency declaration saying we're in a state of emergency. The county commissions meet and say, okay, what's the severity of the storm? Where is it going to impact? What's the wind field? Other things like that. And they would issue an evacuation order based on zones, depending on maybe where the affected storm surge is potentially going to be.
All right.
So then the evacuation order is sent out, and we get out there in our little loudspeakers, and we try to send information out telling the affected people, hey, here's the evacuation order. You need to be out at a certain time. Now, could you arrest somebody for violating that order? Yes.
Have you ever?
Realistically, would it happen? No, because how many people are going to maybe not evacuate? And then do you want to inundate the jail with all these people who didn't evacuate? So realistically, I don't think that would be an option. Now, maybe in a severe case, for example, and we've had this happen before, maybe a business opens within the evacuation zone and continues to operate when it is unsafe to do so.
Or perhaps after a storm has passed and
Yes.
people have to kayak up to the business.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, we would contact that business or whoever is responsible and say, look, you're violating the evacuation order. If you don't stop, we will have to arrest somebody. The person responsible for having this, and it's usually maybe the manager inside the store who's.
Have you ever done that? Have you ever
No.
had to arrest? Have you ever arrested somebody for not evacuating?
No.
All right, good. Thank you, because I don't
Yeah.
evacuate.
Well, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, if you're government, and I know sometimes people don't like government, but if the emergency officials are saying, hey, this storm is this bad and you need to evacuate, there's a lot of risk if you don't.
I understand that.
Yeah. I mean, storm surge will kill you. Then you got to deal with the winds. And then you have to deal with all the other things that happen while the storm has passed. So if you're told to evacuate, you should evacuate. You don't have to go 100 miles, 10 miles, 5 miles may be sufficient. But evacuate, because there's a reason why. We don't want you dying in the storm surge.
I understand that. I respectfully do not evacuate, but I also live where it is not practical for the storm surge to get to. I'm on the ridge. So I know what risks I'm taking. I'm not going to count on EMS for anything. But if you're not arresting me for not evacuating, or maybe you will now, that's fine. Because, hey, that's high and dry shelter at the jail. If you're not arresting people for evacuating, what exactly is it that police officers do?
Good question.
Because y'all sleep at the high school.
We did for Idalia? No, we did for
Ian.
We did for Ian. Because, in the event loss of power thing, we have a generator, but, if we're in a zone, we got to move. So we want to move to a place where we're going to be able to effectively run our operation. Now, in the event of let's say an advisory comes out through the National Hurricane Center, we watch the advisories, make sure, well, what kind of storm is it? Where is it going? What's the intensity? When we start thinking about 6 days out, or even when we're in the 5-day cone, that's when it starts triggering certain things at the police department where we say, okay, we're in the 5-day cone, we look at the intensity, the track, and say, we may cancel some leave if you've made maybe unapproved leave. Well, now you're not. We put people on standby. We make sure we have preparations for the event. We get the full brunt of that storm.
But what do you do? Like, what is your job? I understand
Right.
that. I understand how that works. But what are you doing? Are you guys sitting around playing dominoes?
No. We will assist in making sure people know, hey, what evacuation zone you're in terms. Let's say there's an evacuation of zone A, for instance. We'll go to those areas, get on loudspeaker, make sure people know that, hey, by the way, you must evacuate by a certain time. We do regular patrol operations. We will post people at the beachfront sometimes to make sure people don't
Surf?
linger around the beach when they're maybe not supposed to. And then the regular patrol operations. Now, let's say we are being impacted by the storm. The storm is landfalling, and the winds get to be 50 miles an hour or greater. At the 50-mile-an-hour threshold,
50.
At 50 miles per hour, we cease operations. We cease patrol. We cease responding to calls for service.
So if you're going to kill somebody, wait until we get tropical storm winds is what I'm hearing,
maybe
right?
Maybe don't kill somebody.
I mean, yeah, there's that.
But
But basically,
it's just too dangerous.
well, that's also why you evacuate, right? Because
It's too dangerous.
if someone's trying to kill you and you're being, if you're in a zone that you're supposed to have left, the cops aren't.
The
cops aren't going to be able to come kill you.
Exactly.
Or come help you, rather.
So evacuate. That'd be a better idea.
Right,
if you're told to
evacuate rather than wait around for bad things.
Right. But at that 50-mile-an-hour threshold, we cease operations. Now, when it is safe for us to come back out after we've hunkered down and the storm has passed, we go out, we assess what is the situation in the city. We check the beachfront area, we patrol up and down the streets, we mark where public works should maybe have some attention in terms of down trees. We mark areas where maybe the power company needs to handle down power lines, things like that. In the worst case scenario, let's say there was some significant damage to structures, we would assist with search and rescue operations.
So that was going to be my next question. So you go by my house and a giant tree has fallen across my house and smushed it. Do you just go, well, that's going to suck for them? Or
No.
are you able to knock on the door or what used to be the door?
We would knock on the door and, is anybody here? Is anybody okay?
Okay.
Maybe the homeowner evacuated, but we at least check and see if there's anybody there needing assistance.
Right.
But if we don't get an answer, we would probably back out if they were in the evacuation zone. But maybe if we hear some things, or maybe there's exigent circumstances for us to go in, like the fact that there was just an impending storm, we could go in and check to see if anybody was there.
So I know this is a hard question because your line is that you should evacuate if you evacuate, or if you're told to evacuate. But suppose I'm told to evacuate and I choose not to do it. Is there anything I can do so that after the storm, things are easier? Should I put did not evacuate on my door, or stuff
You
like
could.
that?
Definitely have some sort of because I've heard all these stories where law enforcement officers maybe in the past have come and talked to people like, hey, are you evacuating? And the resident says, no, I'm not going to evacuate. Well, make sure you have your name and all that stuff written on your arm. And well, that's all good and well, but maybe have some sort of information somewhere that we can find to identify you, and God forbid if something happens. But if you are going to ride out the storm, make sure you have proper supplies. I'm not saying ride out the storm.
No, you're definitely not saying ride
No.
out the storm. You're very clear on that.
But you have to have enough food, water, and sustenance and medication and things that you are going to need from anywhere from 7 days to maybe 10 days. It's just, you're going to have to, there may not be power for a very long period of time. You may not have access to water, maybe. So you got to be prepared.
Is there any place cops look? Say you go in the house, there's a dead body, it has a storm-related injury. Is there any place cops go to look? Go to the refrigerator for the file of life?
A lot of times we can do basic records checks on the house.
I realize I went dark very quickly here.
Yeah, this is this is where the worst scenario where maybe we have to respond. There's a way where we could check our own records to see if we ever had calls for service here. Does this person have a Florida driver's license? And do it that way. It's gotten a lot easier since Hurricane Elena days, or when I was a kid and stuff like that. But how about evacuate and just let's not worry about having to identify you.
Okay.
I get some people won't. They think there's a huge expense to it and whatnot, but it's the expense of you not evacuating is probably far worse than the expense of evacuating.
So I can tell you one of the arguments. I realize we're running a little long here, but we're going to wrap up. My last question. When I lived on the beach, it was not any question about evacuating, but one of the things that reassured me is you've got bridges on and off the beach, and they had reentry permits.
Yes.
Nobody could get to my house on the beach and steal all my stuff unless they lived on the beach and had the permit or owned a business. In a city like Gulfport or Pinellas Park or St. Petersburg, you can't control that reentry. And I think a lot of the reason people tend not to evacuate is they worry about maybe a tree does fall on their house, creates a huge hole. People go in and take their stuff. What's the answer to that? Is there one?
The answer is your personal safety is far more important than your stuff.
All right.
You can replace it. It's more expensive. You can replace a TV and all that stuff. You can't replace you. You're a unique individual.
I have heard that before.
And also tie up your boat. If you have a boat in the water, tie up your boat, tie it up properly. Leave
You mean the
enough
marina
line.
won't
Yes.
come do that for us?
No, tie up your boat,
Tie up your boat.
please, and don't ride out the storm in your boat.
That is an
That's bad.
exceptionally bad idea. Do not ride out the
Exceptionally
storm
bad.
in your boat. Do not, go out and surf in a hurricane or tropical storm.
No, and if you are a boater and you live on pay attention to the weather, pay attention to what's going on in the
I
world.
think most responsible boaters do.
Most do, some don't.
Well,
we need
that's
to really
the responsible
hone in,
part.
you know.
I mean, I don't know any boat captain who doesn't freak out at the sign of a storm.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you so much.
Yeah,
and
anytime.
I will not write my information on my arm.
Because you'll evacuate.
I like you to think that. We have to keep the news coming. We have
got
to.
it,
We have
I
to let
guess.
people know who has power after the storm, where to get air conditioning. I can't do that from Jacksonville. But you should evacuate. I am what is considered stubborn. So, thank you, officer,
Yes,
commander.
Good to see you, Cathy.
Good to
Thank
see
you so much.
All right, we'll be back soon, and we have a very special guest. Not that you weren't special.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Did you know, in 1968, our founder, George Brand, started the Gabber newspaper, then called the Gulfport Gabber, to hold Gulfport City Council accountable. Read more of our City Council coverage and learn about our policies on reporting, fact-checking, and funding. Visit thegabber.com.
Okay, welcome back to WGAB, the GabCast. I'm Cameron, and this is our special guest.
My name is Abby.
Yes, Abby, what are you going to be doing with us? You're going to be our...
I am so glad you asked. I'm going to be the events editor for the Gabber. I used to write for the Gabber back in the day, but now I'm back and I'm just doing events. So you can send me those at abby@thegabber.com.
Or events at thegabber.com.
Yeah, that exists too.
So we're going to be talking about Pride. Still talking about Pride. So this weekend was Gulfport Pride, and they had little flag raising ceremony, and then all of the vendors and organizations were lined up, and they had parades, and I don't think they had any drag shows. I didn't get to see any, but
Did you have fun?
yeah, it was so fun. I got a lot of free stuff.
Yeah.
One of the things I got was from Out of the Closet, and they had a shirt that said, "Proudly Out of the Closet," and I thought it was just going to be a shirt that says like something about pride on it. I am not gay, so I can't wear that shirt.
Now you
are. So, right? So I brought it home to my two roommates who are definitely a part of the LGBTQ community. So they now have shirts that say "Proudly Out of the Closet." But there was plenty of free stuff that anybody could take, and I was very happy with getting free stuff. But
Cool.
yeah, so I wanted to know, since you used to live over here in St. Pete and used to work in Gulfport, how was Gulfport Pride back in the day, like 2-3 years ago?
I know. I'm like, wow. Wow. Yeah, so I first went to Gulfport Pride, I think in like 2019, and
Oh my
I was
gosh.
doing it I went for the Gabber, and I felt really cool because I brought my girlfriend at the time, and I had like a camera, and I was walking around taking pictures of people, and I felt very official. Nobody
Yeah.
cared, but but I did,
Yep.
and I felt official, and I thought it was really
Right?
cool because I'm a person that will like plan entire vacations cross country for Pride.
Oh my
Like,
God,
I go hard,
really?
yeah, I go hard. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
I thought Gulfport Pride was really cute. It was like
Yeah.
definitely one of the more family friendly educational prides that I've been to.
Really?
Yeah, there's
Oh.
people keep it together here.
Yeah.
And I thought it was cute. It was fun. I like it.
Yeah, like they have definitely, there was at least a couple families I saw walking around, and like all the kids were like wearing like, there was one girl with like a rainbow butterfly wings outfit, and there's lots of people dressed up, and so I thought it was super fun, and everybody was just super into it. There wasn't anything that was like boring with it. Everything was vibrant and colorful, per usual. That's how it
So
goes.
5 out of 5 stars. Got it.
But I was super, this is my one critique to the city of Gulfport. They had the most awkward silence while raising the flag. And I was like, I brought my boyfriend, and I would turn to him and went, why aren't they playing Born This Way by Lady Gaga? Like, this is the perfect time to be playing it. Like, just imagine the chorus as like they're...
I can picture the awkward silence. I've gone to those flag
Yeah.
ceremonies, and it's supposed to, I think you're supposed to, in that moment, someone's going to get angry about this because in that moment, you're supposed to be like, like go to your gay forefathers and be like, "Ah." But like, I mean, yeah, it is a little awkward, and everybody's just shuffling and kind of like looking around, like
They were like,
what's after this, guys?
okay. And it was like kind of struggling to get up for a minute. And
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there like,
Okay, so
okay.
4.5 out of 5.
Yeah,
Got it.
4.5 out of 5. I would say you would get that 0.5 if you just played Lady Gaga in between.
Do better.
Yeah, just a little bit. Other than that, the DJ sets and musicians were killing the music game. I was like, this is fun. Like, I'm bopping around. This is fun. Little walking, a little this. Everybody looked great. Everything was great. But I wanted to hear about our most recent post from you, Abby, about still in the Pride category, Tampa Bay bars and what you've seen. Was it in the bathrooms or just in the bars?
Well, the article is like specifically was talking about the bathrooms because I thought I had a lot to say about that. I had big feelings about the bathroom, but I mean I've been to like a lot of but it's about the bar scene in general, and I hope
Yeah.
nobody gets angry with me for being controversial yet brave on the internet, because I did say some negative and positive things about our wonderful gay bars in the area, but sometimes you have some bad things to say.
You
so
know, not everybody's perfect, and that's what makes everybody fun.
yeah, but all the bars here are great. I'd say the big two in St. Pete are what? Enigma and Cocktail.
Yeah, I was
Those are
gonna
the big two.
say that. Are there more? Because I honestly, I can't think of more. Maybe I just haven't been to them. That's why. I'm like,
you're probably not allowed to go. No, I'm just kidding.
oh my god, you're
I'm
just not
playing.
allowed.
I'm just playing.
No.
There's the wet spot, which is attached to Cocktail. The wet spot is a really gross
Oh.
name. But like, I haven't been. That's one I didn't include. And then I think that there is like a couple. There's like some lesbiana bars around here that aren't like exactly. Oh, there's one in Central. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and like be like, oh, like
What do I know?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. But
Those are the two main ones.
Cocktails and Enigma, I went to Enigma recently and they had like I don't think it was hourly, but it was like half hour maybe, where it was just like drag shows, I guess, but they weren't
Yeah.
like full blown like everybody stop and watch. Like it was just kind of like somebody dressed up and performing, and they had their songs, and
casual.
yeah, it was very casual, but yeah, like I thought it was cutie. I liked it. It was fun. All my friends like going there first for the night. They're like, okay, we're going to Enigma, and then we're going. Yeah, like this whole.
Cocktail is glossy, and then Enigma is granola, and I feel like you have to end at Cocktail. I've been kicked out of Cocktail a couple times.
Oh my gosh.
Their security is, you got to give 10 out of 10 for their security. Maybe sometimes it's a little misguided. I'm just a girl, just trying
I'm
to have
just a
fun.
girl.
But yeah, Cocktail's great. It definitely, and in my article, if you read it, I just talk about how serious the security is in the bathroom situations. They do not allow more than 2. And this is a PSA, if you bring your friends to the bathroom, even if it's innocently, you will be slapped. I'm just kidding.
Gosh,
I'm just kidding.
imagine just handcuffs.
No.
You're out.
They're just really serious about it, but Enigma's a little bit more chill. So it's kind of like pick your poison.
Definitely. So what did you rate Enigma and Cocktails? What did you rate them in your article?
I don't even remember the rating system upon which I went. So maybe 7 out of 10 beans. I don't know. I think Cocktail. I think I gave. I don't remember, but I'm basing this on feeling right now.
Let's see. I have.
Yeah, because I don't. It's kind of, it would change. My rating system changes actually by the day.
Oh, so this day you were saying 4 out of 5 stars
Okay, I still
for
stand by that.
Cocktail.
They're
You
just
get
a
one
little
deducted
strict.
because sometimes you need a group hangout session around the toilet.
Yeah.
Literally, like you just said, you'll get slapped if you go in there with more than one person.
You'll be asked to leave.
You have to be by yourself.
and you will have to write an apology. I'm just kidding.
Good. Writing I'm sorry on a board 10 million times.
I will not be gross in the bathroom. And then what did I give?
Enigma 4.5 out of 5 stars. It's surprisingly clean. That's what you. That was your
yeah.
reasoning.
It is clean.
Surprisingly.
Nobody's ever in the women's bathroom in there. You can really just like kind of like have your own
You're like, wow.
adventure.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. So guys, that's what you have to think about, is how the bathroom situation is before you go out somewhere. You have to figure that out because, most girls have to go to the bathroom with a friend, and that's a hard reality for some people to like go by themselves.
I don't like it.
You don't like going by yourself?
If I'm drunk, no.
Yeah,
If
no,
I'm drunk,
I'm
wanna
always
keep
with my
it-
friends,
I want
yeah.
to keep it going. Completely like ruins the night for me when I have to leave, go be in the bathroom by myself. I have thoughts. I'm remembering things.
Yeah.
I'm having war flashbacks
People
to my
take
childhood.
take photos in there and they're like, we look so good. The next day you're like, damn, this picture's really blurry. It's not even focused or anything
No.
like that. Or like
No.
somebody's blinking. It's always that case.
But I think overall, I can say all the bars here and in Tampa, I'm a Tampa girl, are all wonderful and I love them. I don't have a problem with any of them. And the only one that I did include that didn't allow me to go inside because I was a woman is closed now. Coincidence? I think not.
Oh my God. Wait.
Christoph's, but which, I'm not hating on Christoph's because it fully is like a bear bar. I
my
went with
God,
my gay
really?
guy friends and they were like, come in, it'll be fine. And I was like, oh my God, okay. And they were like, girl, like, no, it's like really not.
Not for you.
And I was like, but I left quietly.
You were
politely.
like, okay, I guess. I'll go somewhere else.
Embarrassing.
Well, I guess you learned your lesson, so don't go. It's closed.
Yeah, it
So
doesn't exist.
whatever. But there's plenty of prideful and pride events going on, especially at cocktails, like we were saying earlier. So go check that out. But there's also pride events everywhere. So make sure you go at least to one thing. Like I just went to Pride in Gulfport. I'm definitely going to St. Pete Pride. Are you going to that? Or is there one in Tampa
Yes.
too?
The Tampa one is a different time. Like I think it already passed. It's weirdly in March, but Tampa is my favorite of all time Pride. But St. Pete's
Really? Oh, I just
Tampa
don't,
knows how to party.
I just don't like to drive to Tampa, so I just have a problem with like doing anything out there. But yeah, I want to go to St. Pete this year. I didn't get to go last year. I was working.
Yeah.
So
But now you'll be working at Pride.
yes, I will be able to be taking pictures of everybody, having fun. And I think it's later in the day, so I shouldn't get a heat stroke while I'm there. So this is perfect. Well, thank you, Abby, for joining the GabCast today. We're excited to have her on our team once again. So maybe you'll
excited to
be
be
back
here.
on the podcast sometime.
I don't know if I'm allowed anymore, but
No, you'll be fine.
But thank you and party.
Bye, guys.